Hi, it's the 6th of February 2018, around about 8 p.m. This is the first in a series of a few vids I'd like to do, based on some comments made by Jazz A. Jazz brought some real intel to me anyway, and it was interesting that when he said it, and because I've been thinking of a minefield, it fitted perfectly with that analogy. Okay. So his first comment was to Kurt 2022, and Kurt was saying that he wouldn't live with a woman because of the concerns about losing his property. If should something happen, so women visit him or he visits them, and Jazz was saying, yeah, be careful, Kurt, because in Australia and in certain provinces in Canada, there's a law called de facto by default. And that means that the woman only has to spend quality time with the man, and then she's entitled to property rights and etc., the same as if she was living with him on a full-time basis. So I was quite taken aback for it. I'd heard some ridiculous things before, but I thought that's ultimately ridiculous. I mean, I guess if she really knew how to game the system, she could go and spend quality time with this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, and she could get a whole suburb. But the thing that was interesting to me is that it filled the analogy of a minefield, and the thing that Jazz stresses, and this is a MGTOW thing that diehard MGTOW, particularly the monks, stress, is that, guys, you're living in a minefield. Please be aware you're living in a minefield. Yeah, it's not friendly ground there. It's a minefield. And this is what he's saying. Yeah, he'll stay here on this side of the fence. He's not going in there. And and I guess they get annoyed with guys who are living in there who don't think they are. And it's I guess it must be frustrating for guys like Jazz to come across people like that. He certainly didn't have to convince me. I became aware of it with my when I had the domestic violence order levelled against me. Ridiculous bloody charges, absolutely ridiculous. And I, no less ridiculous than what Jazz was just explaining, and he's got more there that are even more ridiculous. And as he said, they're going to get more and more laws. It's just so. Put it another way, they're going to lay more and more mines, more and more and more and more. That's what he's saying. And it doesn't matter how you try to fight it. You're just going to get wounded. You're just a potential. Look, you could live in there. That's a minefield. You could walk around there, and you might be able to walk all the way to the other side of it, and not get blown up. Well, then again, you could get blown up just here. Right there, bang. Or you go a few. But eventually, it's where are the mines? It's because they're a minefield. Okay. Now, the one thing that we all know about a minefield is that they're only laid in combat zones. Okay. There's no other reason to lay a minefield. The none that I'm aware of, anyway. But in a combat zone where you're trying to do whatever they do with minefields. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here with this video, and the only point I'm going to make with this particular video, is we're living in a combat zone. We have to stop thinking about living in a society, in a friendly society, in a civilian society. That's not friendly ground. Okay, that's enemy ground. That's the enemy owns that ground. You don't control it. They do. They've laid the mines. You're just trying to live in it. They control it. It's enemy ground. It's not friendly turf. All right. So if there's no other takeaway from this vid, it's to support the MGTOW movement and the MGTOW guys who are trying to tell you and warn you it's a minefield. It's that's what's out there, mines. Okay, I'm going to do more vids on this particular on Jace's comments. But that's the way. But when he described it, that's the picture I drew in my mind. Yep, yeah, we're all living in a minefield, and don't think otherwise. All right, thanks for listening, and I shall talk to you shortly.